Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, after a man says women should stop wearing yoga pants in public, hundreds of women in yoga pants parade past his house in protest. I would like to take this time to remind women I believe they should never be naked in public. Plus, a new study shows that telling small lies over time desensitizes you to dishonesty. Stay tuned for what will be the best segment in television history. And finally, Fisher-Price changes one of its Little People toys after complaints the toy is not politically correct. Oddly, the complaints had nothing to do with the toys being called Little People. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. She's been around more rock legends than an AA sponsor. Host of Kennedy on the Fox Business Network, Kennedy. He wants to be the Johnny Cash. He wants to be Johnny Cash, but he can't afford the drug habit. Comedian Dustin Chafin. He's a member of Project 21, which sadly is not a group of card counters. Founder and partner of Caldwell Strategic Consulting, Gianno Caldwell. And he's good enough, he's smart enough, and dogs beat him in a talent show. Oh, I didn't even, well, it doesn't matter, Tom. Sitting right next to me, comedian and author of Bad Dad, Tom Cotter. Okay, let's start the show. A man in Rhode Island has some pretty controversial ideas about yoga pants. Last week, Alan Sorrentino wrote a letter to his local paper complaining about women over the age of 20 wearing yoga pants in public. He called the apparel the absolute worst thing to ever happen in women fashion. Adding, not since the miniskirt has there been something worn by so many women who should never have it on in the first place. Do yourself a favor, he said, and stop wearing them in public. He concluded, I struggle with my own physicality as I age. I don't want to struggle with yours. There was a bit of a backlash. On Sunday, hundreds of people walked by his house as part of a yoga pants parade. The organizer, Jamie Patrice, said the parade wasn't to attack Sorrentino, but to protest the constant criticism of women's bodies. She noted, I want women of all ages, shapes, and sizes to know that it is okay to wear whatever makes them feel comfortable. Kennedy, is it okay for women to wear whatever makes them feel comfortable?
Yeah, baby, whatever. I think this guy's brilliant. I think Andy was onto something at the top of the show.
Yes.
I think that this was reverse psychology, or some sort of sleight of hand or sleight of pants. So he says, like, I hate women in tight butt-hugging yoga pants. Please don't ever wear them. Here's my address in case you guys want to organize like a big parade protest and walk by my house with an accordion and young girls with bulbous bottoms.
They did. They had accordions. They had musical instruments.
Yeah. And a woman had, I like my pants taped on the back of her shirt.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that next week.
Look, Cotter, I think we all want women to march around in yoga pants at all times. Kennedy may be onto something.
She is onto something, and I clearly cannot throw stones at someone for wearing something goofy. But I'm from Rhode Island, but I'm all right now. This is where this happened. And my thing is, people don't realize this. On the 8th day, God created the yoga pants, and I'm a big fan. God bless them. Some women, though, should wear them under a burqa. I'm not saying who, some.
That's the thing. I mean, we do love the yoga pants. He was saying, this guy says he actually owns yoga pants.
Oh.
He has them, but he says he wouldn't wear them out to the grocery store.
Thank God.
Yeah, but he said that it was meant to be in jest. Did you get the joke when you read his article? He said he was supposed to be generating laughs.
No, there was nothing funny about that.
No, really? Well, Dustin, what do you think? Should men comment at all on... I don't think you should go there at all anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, I don't understand why people didn't protest Chris Christie wearing those baseball pants.
Yeah, there might have been I remember, was it that bad? Do we have a photo of... Oh, look at that! Oh, my! Wow.
Even camels are cringing on that.
Well, look.
He's got no balls on him, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm going to march right now. It's horrible.
I think they call that a fupa.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Gianno, look, I think these women have a right to wear the yoga pants wherever they want. I think the guy was just having fun. I think they're a little too sensitive.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure after he saw the parade, he put a hold on the letter to the men that wear bicycle shorts, right? So we put that out, right? So
he said that. Did you see in the end of the letter? He said, this would be like if I wore a Speedo to the the gas station, which would be gross. He said it would be gross if men did
I'm
it.
sure that that's next. That's the next parade that's coming by his house. But body shaming, inappropriate in any form. For example, I have big muscles.
There you
A
go.
woman shamed me into having them. She should apologize now, right? Kennedy?
Yeah. I thought you were a trainer.
I am.
Yeah, I thought this Project 21 was like, how many repetitions can you do?
But wait, Gianno, you keep yourself in nice condition,
Mm-hmm.
probably because at some point, why? Did you say you were out of shape at one time?
No. So
Were
a
you
young
like
lady
Chris
said I
Christie?
should work out. I should get in the gym,
Yes.
right? So I got in the gym, stayed off the drugs,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I should get on. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But
But look, it's the
But now
idea
I'm here.
is that I think Gianno is saying shame works. That's what I think.
Yeah, I
Dustin?
mean, I think a Speedo's fine if you're going swimming. The same with the yoga pants. I mean, are they really that comfortable? They're kind of tight. I don't think women wear them out of comfort. So if you're wearing them, then go to yoga.
They really look comfortable to me
Yeah.
when they're
A
out
lot
shopping.
of yoga pants have never been to yoga. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
you see women with
Most of them.
spandex pants going to the grocery store all the time.
I think that's the idea.
I don't
You know
have a
what?
problem with it. I really don't.
Kennedy-
I don't have a problem with it at all.
But don't you think? I think
No
they're
problem,
wearing
Tom.
them to the store because they want other people to think that they're on their way to class, right?
They have like a mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it is.
I mean, you dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
Exactly. All right, moving on. I've noticed this election, some people don't like Trump. Like this woman in Wisconsin. She was arrested this week for smearing peanut butter on 30 cars she mistakenly thought belonged to Trump supporters. According to police, Christina Ferguson entered an environmental club meeting which she thought was a Trump rally. I always make that mistake. Holding a jar of peanut butter and yelling about how much she hated the GOP nominee. She left and then started smearing creamy peanut butter on cars. When cops confronted her, the 32-year-old denied everything, but was, quote, repeatedly licking her fingers. She eventually confessed, saying that she felt terrorized by Trump supporters. She also noted, quote, peanut buttering is better than firebombing, and Trump plans on firebombing everybody in other countries. Well, that's a good point. I didn't know. Is that part of his platform?
I heard that in the last debate. Yeah. Peanut butter everybody.
Yeah, she's not a true liberal, or it would have been almond butter. I think that's
That's true. You know what, though? Dustin, that's more expensive.
it is.
Did you ever see?
$13.
13 bucks for a little tiny tin of it, isn't that?
And it's so costly to the environment. Do you know how much water it takes to grow a single almond? It takes 70 gallons to grow a single almond. That may not be true, but she's a Hillary Clinton supporter. But the funny thing about this is Hillary wants to firebomb everybody in every country. Donald Trump really only wants to bomb out of ISIS. There's a big disparity there. I mean, he's been very specific about who he wants to bomb, where Hillary's like, smart power, we're morally obligated to spread democracy like herpes.
Yeah, that's so true. But is this a thing, Gianno? Peanut buttering? It's the first time I've heard of it, but apparently it's a thing people do.
Well, I think she probably read a good help wanted ad. Disrupt the Trump rally, paid for by Hillary Clinton. So, I mean,
They are causing, they're doing
paying them.
shenanigans.
They're paying them. So obviously, she wanted to get involved in the electoral process. Yeah. But this election has brought out the worst in a lot of people. That's one of the more interesting ways that it's brought out the worst in people.
Do you think it's even though, Gianno? Do you think it's the left and right? Do you think it's brought out a lot of bad in Trump supporters as well?
I've lost friends on both sides of the aisle.
You have.
I don't think it's necessarily the Trump supporters.
Like
I
the
think a
bride
lot of
and the
people.
groom?
Pardon?
Yep.
The bride and the groom, you said.
Bride and the
right.
groom.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I think, though, there's something about people on the left. They're really losing it. And the thing is, look, Hillary's ahead in the polls from what I understand, if I'm reading these polls correctly, but they're losing it, Tom.
So why do they have to put their nut butter on people's cars? That's disgusting.
It
First
is.
of all. Second of all, she said it was better than firebombing. What if you have a peanut allergy? That's, someone could die. And what if you have a dog in the car that will kill itself trying to eat at the glass to get at that peanut butter?
Would imagine.
Where is the love of animals and all these things? And by the way, what does she have on her chin? Did you see that girl? She's got like a little meth thing on her. There it is. What is
I don't
that?
know.
I
She
think
looks fine.
That was
You got something
the
on your
crunchy
chin.
peanut butter
I
that
do.
she had saved for herself. But how do you mistake that? I mean, if you walk into an environmental rally, are you really looking at a group of people in hemp skirts who reek of patchouli going, oh, they want to make America great again? They're just awful. They're the worst kind. Trump hippies. Ew.
How do you mistake it? I mean, I don't know where she got her information, But Trump supporters, they don't go inside and meet in church basements, do they? No. They don't do that.
They just punch people. But, yeah.
But Dustin, you know why that's
Well, those
happening.
were paid Hillary Clinton supporters.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yes.
Yeah.
She pays ducks to go to these rallies.
I don't want
And it's
inside.
always a guy in a cowboy hat. Makes me look terrible.
They're taking you down. All right. There's a phrase Donald Trump has repeated a lot in debates and at rallies. That phrase is "Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho." Actually, it's big league. Or is it bigly? There's been debate online, discussion. Have a listen.
She doesn't want to say that, but that's what's happened, and that's what's happened big league. We're going to speed up the process, big league, because it's very inefficient. We're cutting taxes for the middle class, and I will tell you, we are cutting them big league for the middle class. I'm going to cut regulations, but I'm going to cut taxes big league, and you're going to raise taxes big league. End of story.
End of story. So what's he saying? The New York Times got some linguists to conduct a voice analysis to put an end to all the confusion. They determined once and for all he's saying big league. And that puts to bed the biggest controversy of Trump's campaign. You know what, Kennedy? Just seeing him say big league over and over. I mean, if America could see him like that, I think they might change their mind about it.
Yeah, I think the polls would absolutely flip. I mean, I love the montage they have of him saying China, because China.
Yeah.
He's really aggressive with certain diphthongs but swallows the G. The best thing about this is everyone thinks that they're a linguist. So all these grammar snobs are like, well, bigly's not even a word, and they didn't look it up. Bigly is a word. It's an adverb.
Wait,
it's
it is?
perfectly acceptable to use in this context. He's not using big league like a figurative noun. He's using it like an adjective, and that's why it's kind of confusing. But he's still, even if he were saying bigly, that would be fine.
Right. Well, it's like big. I thought it was like big time. Like we're gonna cut taxes big time,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that what it is, Dustin?
Well, what he did to the USFL, he can never say league again.
That didn't work out, did it? Why? Was that Trump's fault,
It's
though?
all his fault. It was just like, he bankrupted the whole thing.
I don't understand why that didn't catch on. What was it? Was it indoor?
Football in the
Yeah,
summer.
the general.
It was
Herschel
football.
Walker.
It was football, but there was
Herschel
no
Walker was
room to
amazing.
run. When you ran off the field, you ran into a wall, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what it
No,
was?
that's arena football. That's Bon Jovi's team.
Oh, different. Okay. Gianno, big league. Did you misunderstand him?
Well, at first I thought he was saying Big Lee, and I didn't know what it was, but I think he deserves a lot of credit in this sense, because now I believe that 2 Chainz may be an acceptable candidate for president, because I don't understand what he says, but I enjoy his music. So
2 Chainz, right?
Big League, right?
Tom, I think these people they're all a bunch of snobs. They said, oh, look at he doesn't know how to use his words. He's got limited vocabulary, but he speaks to the people, Donald Trump, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and he is a cunning linguist. I think we all know that.
Yes, he-
Kenny was right. It was an adverb when he was supposed to be using an adjective, and so is anyone shocked that Trump has George W. Bush League grammar? No, no one cares.
No, what was the thing
Gets the
Cheney used
message
to
across.
say? Big time, right? Or was it? He's a major league.
Major league a-hole.
Adam
Yeah,
Klein?
big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Exactly.
Big time.
Okay, moving on. If there was ever a country that could use a drink, it's Iraq. Now its citizens can't even do that. On Saturday night, while Iraqi forces were in the midst of a huge battle with ISIS, the country's parliament found the time to pass a nationwide ban on the sale and consumption of alcohol. People caught drinking could be fined up to $21,000. A majority of the country is Muslim, and Islam prohibits booze. But the ban has angered Iraqi Christians who say it violates the country's constitution, which guarantees the traditions of religious minorities. Bottom line, Iraq is no longer a place to party. Gianno,
It once was.
it was. Apparently, I think it was the number 3 ranked Middle Eastern party countries.
Oh, wow.
After Chico State. Right.
It's such a shame that when Trump vodka was going on sale Big League, you can't enjoy it there now. I guess I'm just going to have to enjoy it on set with you.
Exactly. Dustin,
Yeah,
there are regions of the country. Now, does this tell you maybe Iraq should have been split into different sections? Because you've got the Kurdish section, where there's not that many Muslims there. They should be allowed to have a drink, shouldn't they?
I believe so. I mean, you can always sneak it in. I did a lot of USO tours, and we just put them in, Listerine bottles.
did. The big. Well,
Yeah,
when you just went like this,
I did,
you brought them in the big
It was
Listerine
pretty
bottles?
big, yeah. It was, before the
This
ban
guy
of
has
liquids.
bad breath.
Big league.
Big league. But no, that's the problem with the Middle East. No fun. They should open up a Hooters, maybe. You know what I mean?
That That's what they
That'd be
need.
fun, yeah.
Booze and then some nice ladies. Those girls at Hooters, they're just
Yeah,
I'm sure they're going to outlaw cocaine now. I mean, that's like the next thing on their list.
Absolutely.
Get rid of all the fun party stuff.
That'd be a bad Hooters, though. Just be a bunch of girls in orange burqas, walking around. Look at the nose cleavage
But
on that girl.
they would have the don't they have the stockings at Hooters?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, under the shorts. It's a great look.
It would be Hooters too, wouldn't it?
Kennedy,
Yeah.
what's happening to Iraq? I mean, is this a priority for them? Should they be banning alcohol? They've got other things
first
to worry
of
about.
all, they're having this huge battle with ISIS and Mosul, and ISIS, as you know, is Sunni. But Iraq is controlled by the Shiites in parliament, and it's the Shiites who passes. They're supposed to be the cool Muslims. They're supposed to be the cool, inclusive, come over to my parents' house for some Mike's Hard Lemonade.
That's right.
And that's not what's happening at all. So now the only place to really party is truly with the Kurds. But what sucks about it is for American servicemen and women who are over there, they are dry bases. And so, the boys come down to the barracks, come down to the mess hall for a little bit of fun and recreation, a little bit of R&R.
The canteen.
No, what are they supposed to do? So you know what I did? I have a friend who's stationed over there. I sent fudge made with Baileys. I did it. By gum.
That
and
is a
I
little
load
loophole.
up the treats with as much booze as I possibly can and ship it right over to the men and women in uniform.
They could use it, but why go? I mean, it's a base. Can't the military do whatever it wants? It doesn't have to go by their laws, does it?
Yeah, but they're all like respectful with rules of engagement.
I can't stand that. What happened to the green zone? You can do whatever you wanted, Tom.
Like being in Iraq doesn't suck enough. Now you have to do it sober. I mean, that's horrible. And I feel bad for young Muslim men who all they get to see of women are their eyeballs and the unibrow, right? And they get to, they can't dance, they can't listen to certain music. And no wonder they're blowing themselves up. I would too. No booze.
It's terrible.
Light the fuse. That's what I say. Bang.
Yeah.
Put that on a bumper sticker, Tom.
That's it.
For the
But
rest,
don't let a woman drive the car.
No, hell no.
Definitely not. For the rest of the world, the right to get sauced is sacred, but there is a downside to alcohol. It's very true. A series of 19th century photos recently posted online and titled "The 5 Stages of Inebriation" illustrate how booze can transform a person. Take a look. Here's stage 1. Seems like a fine gentleman. Stage 2. Okay. Stage 3. Oh boy, I'm noticing a transformation. Stage 4. He's a little tuckered out. And finally, stage 5. Oh, wait a minute. That's not him. That's David Hasselhoff. Wait, here's the real one. Stage 5. Look at that. Terrible, isn't it? Well,
Yeah.
I was actually amazed by these. They were trying to educate people.
That's absolutely right. And this is in Australia, which is really, an island continent just full of booze bags. So it was a
They do like
lovely
drinking there,
depiction.
don't they?
But that was how they were trying to sell the temperance movement in the 19th century. And looking at those, like especially stage 3, you're like, I want to party with that guy.
Yeah, well, look, it's kind
Where's
of
the bar?
It's interesting because it's timeless, isn't it, Dustin? The stage 3. I mean, they really the first thing you do is fight before you fall down, right?
Well, if you look at, he looks like a drunk hipster in Williamsburg, drinking too much PBR in a can. That's being ironic.
Yeah.
But that's what it looks like.
He's dancing and boxing at the same time.
Tom,
Yes.
you've been at you've had a couple of pops yourself
One
after
or
a
two.
show.
Yeah. I think that guy with the hat on looks a little like Dustin.
Yeah, he does.
With the beard and the hat.
Criticizing my
We
people.
have 5 stages here. We have tipsy, buzzed, college drunk, homeless drunk, and Mel Gibson. And he's Australian, so it makes sense to me.
Exactly. Mel, I don't think Mel drinks anymore, does he? He had a couple of problems with the drinking, right?
Yeah.
He tends to mouth off, doesn't he?
Tends to be a little anti-Semitic and some other things when
Yeah. Well, things happen. Gianno, this makes sense to you?
Well, it looks like you're in stage 1 right now. I'm guessing by the end of this show, it'll be over in that sense.
I do like to have a cocktail after the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
me too.
just one though.
Me too.
I just have one, then I take off my zippered sweater. It's a Mr. Rogers.
That's right, definitely.
He's one, but it's a keg.
It's definitely I guess I'm the youngest millennial on here. You're
Okay,
a
keep
millennial.
No,
bragging.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Oh, wow. Okay. You look like a young millennial. That's
you're
good.
so
Good-
sweet.
Good skin and all that. And I know you guys definitely.
Okay,
are.
enough with the
Respect your
compliments. I'm going to go to a commercial
That'll
on that
happen
one.
soon. Don't worry
Coming
about
up, what effect does lying have on the brain? I'll give you the truth, the whole truth, and a bunch of lies after the break. A new study published on Monday in the journal Nature Neuroscience suggests that telling small, insignificant lies desensitizes the brain to dishonesty so that over time, lying gradually feels more comfortable. The study used MRI imagery to show that, quote, signal reduction in the amygdala is sensitive. Amygdala. Thank you, Kennedy. I was going to let Andy usually corrects when I just phonetically read things off the teleprompter, but Kennedy's got me right there. In the amygdala. I should have written it up, in a simple way. Okay, in the brain, for God's sakes. It's sensitive to the history of dishonest behavior, consistent with adaptation. So, in other words, the authors argued in the same way that someone becomes desensitized to the smell of their own perfume, leading them to put on more and more each day, people also become desensitized to lying, leading them to tell bigger lies. Yes. The lead author of the study, Tali Sharrett, a neuroscientist at University College in London, said, whether it's evading tax, infidelity, doping in sports, making up data in science, or financial fraud, deceivers often recall how small acts of dishonesty snowballed over time and they suddenly found themselves committing quite larger crimes. I wish there were some modern examples in the news lately we could point to as evidence. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are many. Kennedy,
yes.
Apparently you're a brain scientist. You know all about those amygdalas.
Yes, the amygdala, the center of emotion in the human brain.
That's what it is.
Unlike the homunculus, which is the tiny man who's pulling the levers. Homunculus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about the amygdala now.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you? It's basically, to me, this study was saying it's habit forming. Little lies lead to big ones.
No, not necessarily, because with that, you would never emerge from childhood an honest person, and it seems as though like small lies are a gateway to sociopathy, which doesn't make a ton of sense. And there was another neuroscientist who was critical of the paper who said, yeah, but is there a mechanism for sort of disrupting that pattern of lying? Because there might be like liar's rehab. Ooh.
Wow,
Hillary and
interesting.
Hula could go there
Look,
together.
we've all known people, Dustin, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was that guy in your high school who was just always telling tall tales, and it was kind of charming, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was kind of that guy. I just think we should at least have a split screen with Donald and Hillary on this.
You do? Wait a minute.
I think that might, be a little more fair and balanced, if you will.
Donist Trump?
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? We're going to think about that. We'll think about it, Dustin. All right, just in the interest of fairness. But Tom, this is interesting science, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you have kids.
I do.
Yeah, and what did you do when they would lie to you? I bet when they were really young, they would just they just lie right to your face.
They still lie. We're a lying family.
You are,
and that's a nice sweater, by the way. We lie every once in a while. I have a swollen homunculus right now. By the way,
yeah, exactly.
Sounds
you
hot.
know? Did
Anyway,
you know that said?
I had no idea. She's a neurosurgeon.
What did it say? Amygdala or amygdala? I still don't know what it said. It's the amygdala.
See? Amygdala. I like it.
Amygdala sounds like someone from Star Wars, like Queen Amygdala.
I thought that it was. I thought it was. Yeah.
We lie. George Washington would never tell a lie. Hillary Clinton will never tell the truth. It's just a little different, and that's the way it is.
Yes. She does have Gianno. In fairness, I put the pictures of Hillary up there. She's got some problems, doesn't she?
She has a
She's been
bunch
caught
of
lying, and they've been
problems,
released in the emails, right?
I mean, 16 months of a federal investigation proved that she lied to Congress. So yeah, she had some very, very big issues.
Yeah. Well, do you believe this science that the little lies lead to the major ones?
It was a girl that liked me so much that she told me she was a model for Gucci, that she had a job at Boeing, and all these things.
I didn't say Gucci.
I'm sorry, it was Chanel. I like the dress you're wearing.
I think stand-up comics are prone to lie.
They are.
Yeah, we're always like, hey, this happened the other day when it happened like 6 years ago.
It never happened the other day.
Interesting fact.
Okay, so Brian Williams started out by telling someone they looked good in white pants, and then all of a sudden, like, there were dead bodies floating past
That's
him
how
in
it
New
happened.
Orleans.
That was it.
In my example, she admitted to lying since childbirth. And
Yeah,
that's what
but
happened.
maybe she's got
all
a
we need.
screw loose.
We gotta go. Coming up, he's the man with the plan. TV's Andy Levy returns with Halftime, and that's next. Welcome back. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye News Deck. And I got to get my mug. Here we go. Andy?
Yeah, you ready?
Yes.
All right, cool. Man says women shouldn't wear yoga pants in public. Women in yoga pants parade past his house. Kennedy, you said you think this was reverse psychology. This, to me, I think this is the problem with Song of the South not being in circulation anymore. Nobody knows who Brer Rabbit is.
Oh, if you go to Disneyland or Disney World, you'll see Brer Rabbit.
Still?
Yep.
All right. The only problem with this theory, by the way, is the dude is gay.
That's okay.
So.
That didn't come out till after.
Right, but it shoots down the theory of the whole he just wanted to see women in yoga pants thing.
Hey, you know what? I don't judge people based on their sexuality.
No, nor do I.
Yeah.
Nor do I. Also, I have this theory that if he had said this whole thing in like a sitcom gay voice, like Jack from Will and Grace, people would have thought it was hilarious.
Exactly.
Right? True. It would have been totally fine.
That's true.
Cotter, you said you're from Rhode Island, but you're better now.
Yeah.
You understand this is offensive to Rhode Island's remaining 30 residents.
They can't get the joke. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And by the way, I wrote an op-ed to the New York Times that I think I'm outraged by women wearing thongs and bustiers, and I can't wait for my parade. Tomorrow it's coming.
But you're better now, but does your suit prove otherwise?
No.
Or- It doesn't? Okay.
Guilty.
Did you buy that from the question mark soup guy who's on in the middle of the night on infomercials?
I did not. I don't know. I
That
got
would
it
be
from
the
a
Riddler,
Halloween store.
actually.
Or how about the guy that's down the street at Times Square? Is that you?
Well, in the middle of the night, I'm watching this show. That's what I watch. I don't watch those other things.
After you fondle a tourist in Times Square.
Right. He just jumps out. I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter.
It's fun.
Is that it?
That's it.
That was well worth using my time. Dustin, you said you don't understand why people didn't protest Chris Christie wearing those baseball pants, which obviously was a joke and a good one. But does it raise an issue here? Christie was roundly mocked for wearing those by many of the same people who are probably mad that Sorrentino said this about that certain women shouldn't wear yoga pants.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the extra 200 pounds that he's packing on. You know, he has no business wearing those pants. I don't understand. Is it like a softball game? Was it really that serious of a baseball game that he had to wear that uniform? Like
No,
so
that was
serious?
that was a meeting of the New Jersey Senate.
Same thing.
It's just something he does. The Trump peanut butter protest. Kennedy, you're absolutely correct that this woman has some bad news coming her way if she's voting for Hillary and she's opposed to firebombing other countries.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
Yep. Gianno, you said this election has brought out the worst in a lot of people, and Tom, of course, as he always does, tried to make this a thing that's mainly happening on the left. But he's completely wrong about that, isn't he?
Depends on what you consider the other side. Republicans have been fine. Conservative Republicans have been fine.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Sure it has.
So you're saying conservative Republicans as opposed to Trump supporters?
There is a difference between Trump. Some folks just vote for Donald Trump and they don't care about the rest of the party, and I think that's problematic on many levels.
Okay. Kennedy, it takes 1.1 gallons of water to grow an almond.
Oh, not 70?
Not 70. No. No.
Knew it was close.
Yeah, no, you weren't off by, you were only off by what?
69 gallons! Ow!
Nice. 68.9, actually.
Close enough. Round up.
Can we talk about how New
Your
York
mom
Magazine,
did.
New York Magazine in their story, they phrased this, Wisconsinite Christina Ferguson was arrested this week for accidentally smearing peanut butter on the windshields of 30 cars. It would be amazing if she accidentally smeared peanut butter on 30 cars. Like, how would you do that?
Gets his stage 5 on the Australian
Like, what kind of
drunkenness meter.
I think they were
Costco,
saying
yeah.
accident. They were trying to say.
No,
it
I
was-
know what they were trying to say, but yeah, they said it wrong.
To them, that's an accident.
They
If
said it
you smear
wrong.
peanut butter
Big
and you
league.
think, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Trump is saying big league. Cotter, you said it was an adjective and it was supposed to be an adverb. Not really, though. That was the case when the people thought he was saying big league, but not big league.
Yeah, I thought it was an adverb supposed to be an adjective.
Bigly was the problem there, not the big league part. Anyway,
I'm too stupid.
all he had to do was say big time and problem is solved.
You're right.
He's using it to mean big, like most people just say, oh, we're going to do this big time. He says big league.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Iraqi parliament bans alcohol. Tom, you brought up the Kurdish section of Iraq, which doesn't have a lot of Muslims, and asked if the country should have been divided. Sure, but there are a lot of places to buy booze, even in the bigger cities like Baghdad, that aren't Kurdish controlled. So this is a bigger problem than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if they want to, just to make a compromise, maybe split it 3 ways.
Right. I'm just
they
saying
can't drive up. They can't drive up to Kurdistan for.
Right. Yeah. All right. Kennedy, you noted that the Iraqi parliament is majority Shia, while ISIS is Sunni, and said the Shiites are supposed to be the cool ones. This seems like a good reason we shouldn't get involved in this stuff anymore.
Man, it always is.
We don't know.
No, I'd rather spend one night in Bangkok than one night in
There you
Baghdad.
go. Absolutely.
I get my kicks above the waistline, Sunshine.
Make a note of that. 5 stages of inebriation. Do we have that, one of those pictures? Can we put that? Those old pictures of Gavin are amazing.
I know. He's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
That was
I'd
his
say they're old
sepia
pictures.
face.
Yeah.
Just glad they're not scratch and sniff.
Lies desensitize the brain to dishonesty. Tom, first of all, this was a great monologue.
There you go. Great.
You said signal reduction in the amygdala is sensitive to the history of dishonest behavior. It's pronounced amygdala.
Amygdala.
Come on, get it right, man.
Oh, thank you.
Can't believe nobody corrected you on that. Kennedy, you said this study makes it seem like small lies are a gateway to psychopathy. Yeah, this study to me sounded a lot like saying smoking weed means you're going to end up being a heroin junkie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I buy it.
Oh, that's why you guys didn't like this. I knew there was something.
No, I just don't buy it.
No, he just doesn't have to buy weed because he's so popular. People give it to him.
And lastly, Dustin, were you saying that when stand-up comics say something happened the other day, they're lying?
Yes.
Really?
It usually happened a few years ago.
Wow. Because it's always like, oh, I was in Alabama last week.
Yeah, but that was
then
probably 8 years ago.
Yeah. It's disheartening.
It's compressed.
Yeah, you know.
I'm boycotting stand-up shows.
So am I.
I'm done. Thank you, Andy. Yep.
Coming up, Fisher Price thinks moms belong in yoga class. But what do they know? But first, Kennedy. Fisher Price is fixing a toy and has apologized after a mother complained it was sexist. The Little People SUV set says time for yoga and a smoothie when activated. And it features a mom-looking figure. Mom Gina Gerber says the toy suggests that moms lead a life of leisure. She took to Facebook to complain, writing, Fisher Price needs to step the F up and show women working in all types of fields and in leadership roles. Yes, like VP of Potty Mouth. Fisher Price responded, you're absolutely right. We could have done a better job. You've inspired us to change the phrase the toy says. Instead, the toy will now say, time for Pilates and a green juice. Kennedy, it's quite an improvement, isn't it?
It really is. So when I saw this as Little People, I thought that they were molding toys in the style of midgetry, and I was heartened by that. I thought, what a wonderful evolution of society, and I thought people were complaining that there were not enough female Little People represented, but no, it was this nagging harpy on Facebook with nothing better to do. She's the person who wears yoga pants and doesn't even go to class.
You're right, she is, and maybe it's the way I say it. Maybe it's like amygdala. I have to say Little People. Is that what it is? Instead of Little People, it's Fisher Price's Little People. What do you think of that?
Emphasize people.
Dustin?
First of all, yeah, it's a toy. It's supposed to be fun. I mean, what's it supposed to say? Give me a scotch because Steve took my promotion.
Hey, I think that's what she's looking for, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
I think the thing is that these, a lot of these moms, they are home with the kids all the time. Why can't they have their smoothie,
Well,
Gianno?
not the millennial generation. They're not staying at home. I think people are taking this a little bit too far, this PC culture of, we should say whatever makes sense and not hurt someone's feelings when
PC,
there's other politically correct.
Politically correct. I've never heard of this
Not
concept.
the drug, PC.
Yeah.
That's PCP.
Yes, but do you think it's gone? You think it's gone too far? But
A little bit, because they make toys with moms with briefcases and that kind of thing. So there's something to represent everyone.
There's a toy with a briefcase, so they should clam up. Is that right, Tom?
That is right. Barbie isn't anatomically correct, nor is Ken near the G.I. Joe. People need to get over this stuff. And the Little People, midgetry, you said, I think.
Yeah.
Great word.
That hurt my feelings. I make cookies in a hollow tree. But that's all right. I think
That would be an elf.
elf. You're right. That's even better.
But I
like
didn't
that.
say elven. I mean, that would be
Elfin.
rude.
Elfin.
Whatever.
Elfin magic.
Elvish.
Elvish.
Like the Hobbit.
I don't think we're really clear on what an elf is. It seems like in everything they're always different. In Lord of the Rings, they're one way. In the Keebler tree, they're another way.
They're hot in Lord of the Rings, right? Come on.
Yes.
The hobbits I'm a hobbit. Something like that. Anyway, they should just say, let's watch General Hospital and have a Xanax, and she should get over herself. And they say, oh, we're using our time effectively, and you make it look like we're doing nothing. Well, you're filing frivolous lawsuits against Fisher-Price, you loser.
That's
So
right.
Lighten up.
If she's out working at some job, what does she have the time to be writing these angry
Lighten
Facebook
up.
posts, right? Okay, coming up, the best political ad of the year. Coming up tomorrow on the next Red Eye, Jill Dobson, Guy Benson, Dr. Kelly Powers, and Dave Smith. Is it a political ad or a cry for help? In Texas, Travis County Commissioner Gerald Doherty's wife desperately wants people to re-elect him because she can't handle him talking about code violations and tax policy all the time.
We've got room to put 2,700 people in our jail, and it costs us about $103 a day.
Gerald really doesn't have any hobbies.
Last year's tax rate was 0.4169. This year, we could take that down to 3,838.
So is he always like that?
Yeah, all the time.
Which means that the 3838 is probably going to go somewhere between 3838 and 41.69.
Most people leave their work at the office.
We got 3 light rail cars. You can put 60 people on each car. So even if you add 2 cars, you're talking about maybe 300 people that are affected. There are 1 million people in this community. I mean, that is 0.01 to the 8th power. If you round it off, it's 0.
All he wants to do is fix things.
So I got this 18-wheeler that's parked in this neighborhood, spewing fumes all over the place, but quite frankly, it's not a code violation. I think I like helping around the house here.
Please re-elect Gerald. Please.
Gerald added, Dad lets me drive the car slowly in the driveway. Gianno, what do you think of this ad?
That was like an SNL ad. Really, that was a great ad.
Clever ad, right?
Clever.
But this guy, he's really into policy. Do we need more policy? What has politics become? I mean, this guy's really into the details. No one talks this stuff anymore, do they?
Right, but maybe they should talk about something in a different way. Makes people interested.
Yes. Yeah. People. Do you think people could get into policy, Kennedy, if we gave them, the option?
If people love to nerd out on policy, then that's where they should be, not people who are on the take and creating foundations as some sort of international pay-for-play scheme. I'd rather see people like Gerald. You know what I like about Gerald? He doesn't like light rail. He's one of the few people who holds public office who does not have the constant train arousal that so many politicians do, and they waste so much money on mass transit. So he's if I decide to vote.
Do you endorse him today?
I endorse Gerald Daugherty or Daugherty.
You better use it in his next ad.
Yeah.
Dustin, okay, what are you going to attack Trump now because someone attacked Hillary, kind of?
No, well, I think Bill Clinton's going to have one of these soon. He's going to please elect her. So she gets out of the house and not have to deal with this anymore.
Well, I think Bill may be kind of like Gerald, too. He's going to be moping around the Oval Office if she gets in there, right?
Yeah, or what she should do is maybe change her identity and leave him because he's insane, I think.
He's just a man who he likes his job, doesn't he, Tom?
He's turning steak into rail cars. Which I thought was kind of weird. And I wanted to see Uma Abedin's commercial about Anthony Weiner that way. Wouldn't that be fun? A little dirty one on the way out?
Yeah. Get him out of the house. He's sexting with everyone, right?
Carlos Danger, whatever his name was. Yeah, this guy's away. By the way, his house is unbelievable. So I think he's on the take. He's a politician on the take. Did you see that house?
He looks like a retired guy who finally found some fulfillment in a political job.
But yeah, I mean, he's not. He's working. He likes his job. But it's interesting, Tom, that you say that. It's such a New Yorker kind of thing to do. People who live in New York look at these commercials and think, how do people? They live in these huge houses.
Yeah, that space.
What is all the space? He's got a deck.
That was a nice dryer they were putting the clothes in.
So true. Very special thanks to everybody here on my panel. Kennedy, Dustin Chafin, Gianno Caldwell. Tom, do something. Give him a hand signal. Goodbye. That does it for me, Tom Shillue. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.